Good day to you, viewers, wherever you're watching OGTV. I welcome you to your program, Peace and Conflict Resolution, on OGTV, the People's Tele. I am Seunfunmi on the program, Peace and Conflict Resolution. I'm very sure you are enjoying peace wherever you're watching us. Today, we shall be looking into commercial disputes within our society, commercial disputes. And with me in the studio, I have Barrister Adegbenro Ogunbade. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
And next to him, I have Dr. Akitunde. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Before I go further, let me introduce my guest to you properly and tell you very little about them. Barrister Rotimi Adegbenro Ogunbade is a legal practitioner, the principal partner, Tayo Falode and Co., a public affairs analyst and legal consultant, is a legal advisor to many bodies and organizations, is widely traveled and experienced internationally. Member Nigeria Bar Association, Abeokuta branch here in Ogun State. Barrister Adegbenro Ogunbade, you are welcome.
It's my pleasure.
Dr. Akitunde, let me tell you about Dr. Akitunde. He's a very gentleman. He's a certified mediator and member of the Chartered Institute of Mediator and Conciliation of Nigeria. Besides this, he's a doctor of human resource management and entrepreneurship. He's a former chairman of Ogun State branch of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. He's also a former director of School of Business and Management Study of the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Abeokuta. Let me welcome you once again, Dr. Akitunde.
Thank you for having me.
Barrister Ogunbade. What are we talking about when we talk about commercial disputes?
Yes,
on the point of
thank you very much. I think it will be advantageous to commence by stating what exactly is a commercial dispute. Anyone who is engaged in a commercial transaction, trading transactions, at one point in time will definitely have to grapple with the issue of having dispute here and there. And there is no how any business can be done without necessarily having dispute here and there, because it involves people. It's always between a person and another person,
yes,
a person and an organization, and an organization and another organization. So at that particular point in time, there are some instances whereby the either party may not live up to what he or she is expected under the transaction. And in such instance, if the other party feels disgruntled, then dispute arises from there. And it is not to be seen as a local incident. It occurs over the world. Wherever there are commercial transactions, wherever there are trade transactions, disputes will always occur. And this is the reason why it is essential that whenever anybody wants to go into a commercial transaction, trading activities with another person, especially, no matter how close, it is very, very important to draw up the terms and conditions that are to be included in the transaction. Each party ought to know right from the onset the rights and duties, the responsibilities and undertakings of either side to the transaction. And if we have a kind of a transaction that each party takes to his own side of the agreement, each party takes to his own side of the bargain, then there will be no dispute. But we cannot rule it out at a point in time that this dispute will not arise. But if we have all the activities in black and white, each party knowing what to do at any particular point in time, then the pace at which the dispute now arises will be known that it's either from party A or party B. And in that regard, it is necessary, if you have a draw-up agreement, to put or insert a clause which deals with commercial dispute there, that whenever this kind of thing arises, what do we resort to? Do we resort to mediation? Do we resort to arbitration? Or do we resort to litigation? And in this regard, sometimes people shy away from litigation, taking into consideration maybe the length of time that the matter will be resolved. And you know, the commercial transaction involves a large amount of money. You may not have to wait until this money gets back to you, or until you allow this money to work for you.
Sometimes the party might be on loan.
Definitely. So it's a time frame. You have to determine it quickly. So if there are clauses that gives right to either party to go for mediation, go for conciliation, or go for arbitration, then it is all right. And that is why it is essential, any transaction, no matter how little, no matter how somebody may be want to downgrade it, it is essential that you put it in black and white.
That's better. In the interest of our viewers, Dr. Akintunde, what are the consequences?
Yeah. Whenever there is a dispute,
Yes.
the first consequence is that effort that should have been concentrated on furthering that relationship or producing the object of the relationship is diverted to solving the problem. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the people involved,
Yes.
the trust among them tend to diminish. There is reputational damage
That's true.
to the disputing parties that will affect subsequent commercial arrangements. And this one will affect the progress of commerce and eventually condition of, standard of living of people. The third is that, you see, whenever this dispute arises, most time people either suppress it and it eventually bursts at a time. And if it is not properly resolved, people can resort to violent dispute and then violent reactions. And when that happens, see, it leads to social disharmony because each party is connected to one person or the other. So these are the major consequences of such dispute.
Okay. Let me come to you, Barrister Agbero. You know, when things like this happens, I am very sure that there must be causes. What could be the cause?
Like I have stated earlier on, if there are the respective rights and duties, undertakings and liabilities of each party has been spelled out at the commencement of the transaction, then each party will definitely know what they are supposed to do at any point in time in the transaction. So causes will definitely be from a particular party not trying to do as he is expected to do under the transaction. Not one party not doing up or not doing much as is expected to participate or contribute in regards to that. So in that respect, it slows down the pace of the transaction. Supposing if it is a contract of supply now, possibly as a result of fuel increase, price increase, you cannot get a particular good from one spot to another. It slows down the expectation. And like has been stated, it diminishes trust.
Yes.
And trust is one important factor that one should
important.
consider in dealing in transaction with person and person. So mostly and most times it's about a particular person not doing up or not living up to expectation in regard to what is expected to do. And in our own climate, it is mostly not unexpected because of various factors. You know, it is very, very important that what is essential for the government is to put up enabling environment for commercial transactions to go seamlessly. I have instances of people who have not even met each other physically, engaging in transaction and carrying it out without any rancor, without any the distrust. And money will change hands, goods will change hands, services will pass. That's how things ought to go seamlessly in commercial transaction. And when this does not occur, just as stated, then there will be disputes. Because at that instance, one side will not accept the slowing down of the transaction. The other party will also not want to lose money in that regard, since we are dealing with something relating to commerce, something relating to trade in all aspects. So it will always give rise to disputes.
That's a nice one. Before we go further on the show, let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you for being there. Welcome back to the show, Peace and Conflict Resolution on OGTV. We were discussing commercial disputes. Dr. Akintunde, let me ask you this question. Is it avoidable?
Fundamentals is the attitude.
Okay.
See, when you look at conflicts and disputes, there are certain related concepts that should be understood, which will affect orientation and tendency for dispute to arise and escalate into conflict.
Okay.
We have what is called grievance. You are not happy with something. 2, we have complaint. You have differences before we get to dispute, which leads to conflict. Now, dispute is not necessarily conflictual. Differences is not necessarily conflictual.
Okay.
We must understand that these are normal. We may differ without conflicting.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have dispute, it doesn't have to lead to violent expression.
Okay.
So when you have that attitude, then there will not be much problem. I disagree with you. Fine. You have this faith and this faith. Yeah, all right. You have right to it. And we live our life normally. So that's second. That's the first. Second is to know that certain things are normal. And therefore to anticipate and then place processes to take care of it. There must be a mechanism for expression of grievance, expression of differences, and a system to take care or resolve those differences. That's why, that's the reason for the legal system that is in place. Anytime you have grievance, take this course of action. And that is the place of multi-door courthouse, for example. So that an average person, anytime you have something that make you unhappy, or you think somebody has done something that you don't like, you can just go there and they will assist you to resolve the problem. Finish. So when that happens, you see that we will live with our differences and everything will go on smoothly. And the last thing is to ensure that there is or there are people who are trained and who are fair in mediating the process of reconciling differences. When you have those things in place, we live in our life in society and there will not be problem. You see, conflict is not, many people believe that conflict is inevitable. Conflict is not inevitable. It is a function of the way it is expressed and the way it is managed or handled. If people believe that, the differences we have, if I express it properly in a way that does not provoke negative reaction, of course, there won't be negative reactions. And when I express it, I know that somebody is listening and will take appropriate action timely, because there won't be any problem. And people will even think that we don't have differences. No, we have differences. It's only the way we manage it. So the bottom line is it is not inevitable. It is not a thing that is not avoidable. It is avoidable. It's the way we organize our society, the way we organize our organization, and relationship between each other. So that's why what Barrister has earlier said, that when you are entering into a contractual agreement with somebody, you have to specify not only what is expected,
Setting the terms.
yes, the terms, in clear terms. If you need assistance of an expert, please contact them. And then how to terminate it. If you are no longer happy with it, you are not bound to continue. So when these structures are in place, there won't be a problem. The only thing is that now many people are ignorant of these processes. Many people are not even aware that we have institutions like multi-door courthouse. I want to say that courthouse is one good thing that the government of Ogun has done, but which is not being, the opportunity is not being exploited by so many people. And I think it's a good thing that we are discussing it now for the people at home, everywhere in a different location, to be aware. You don't need to be aggressive when you have differences or dispute with people. You can just walk into the multi-door courthouse and you have somebody there who will assist you to resolve it, no matter how complex it appears to be.
Thank you, Dr. Akitunde. Barrister Ogunbade. You know, sometimes when transaction fails like that, in most cases, they will start. The starting might be very pleasant, and they will both, observe the terms and conditions. But things do happen midway. What is the role of alternative dispute resolution in cases like this?
We must understand the fact that it is equally good to engage professionals.
Yes.
When you're dealing with putting up a commercial transaction, terms and conditions of the contract. If that has been the way the transaction commences, then the point at which there will be dispute will be kind of minimized.
Okay.
Because all these hiccups would have been envisaged along the line and clearly spelled out, known and determined by both parties at that particular point in time. And it is not only when issues give rise to disputes that we need professionals in that instance. Like I mentioned just now, if the commencement we are able to engage a professional to look at it, it's not only lawyers that are professional, doctors are, architects are,
Yes.
so myriads of them, even what do you call them?
Mediators.
Yes, mediators they are. If you walk into any one of them, spell out your terms, spell out your condition, they draw up something very good and nice for you. And even during the workings of the transaction, even midway, there may be something very unclear to either party. You also need to engage with professionals at this point in time. If the necessary clauses, necessary points have been put in place, then issues of giving rise to dispute will be minimized. And there won't be any need for you to say you want to opt out at that particular point in time. Even if that has to be the last resort, it will be minimized.
Okay. Thank you so much. Dr. Akitunde, our time is far spent. What's your parting shot? What advice do you want to give our viewers out there?
My parting shots. Number one, I want to advise everyone entering into any form of commercial transaction to be specific. Let there be common understanding as to what is expected from each party. And then how to contract out of that arrangement if it becomes unattractive to either party. That's number one.
Okay.
See, number two is to be aware that we now have structures, multi-door courthouse that you can go to and they will help you resolve it. The third thing is that dispute is to be expected. It's only the way you express it and the way it is handled that matters. So let everyone be cautious about the way they express their grievance, because not all grievance are valid.
Okay.
Okay. The way they express their grievance, and let those who receive complaint take it properly, handle it in the way it should be handled.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akitunde. Barrister Ogunbade, your parting shot.
Yes, there are organizations already established that are in place to address the issues when dispute comes on board. It is ideal that individuals, organizations try to explore the benefits that are afforded by these organizations. Like has been well highlighted in this program, it is not impossible for all these things not to occur. But once it occurs, approach the right channel, approach the right direction for them to be able to give you the proper advice, the proper structure, and the proper decision for you to arrive at, so that you will feel glad at the end of the day.
Oh, thank you so much. And this is where we'll be drawing the curtain of today's program on peace and conflict resolution. From me here, Dr. Akitunde, I must thank you greatly for coming.
Thank you.
Barrister Ogunbade, thank you so much for having you. Thank you so much. My name is Oba Seunfunmi Ogunleye. Till I see you next time on the same program, same station, dwell in peace and make peace with all men.